Well, welcome back, race fans. Tonight, the Harpoon Design Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series Season 14 unloads in Loudon at New Hampshire for round 16 of Season 14. 125 laps here tonight, 125 miles, presented to you all by MaxspeedTV. Myself, Joshua Medlock. Will Roberts joining us here tonight. Will, glad to have you up here again. It's been a little bit, but man, I'm just glad to have you here to help me call this race here tonight, bud. I know you've gotten, some experience in broadcasting a little bit, helping me out and others as well. But man, what about New Hampshire here tonight, bud? Temp went up again from 109 to 113. Now let's talk about it. How you feeling, and what do you expect here tonight?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good, Joshua. Thanks for letting me be here with you as well. Glad to be here. Magic Mile, Loudon, New Hampshire. Cars this evening seem to be a bit tricky on corner exit, especially turn 2, going to be the one to watch. I would expect on the initial start, and if we have cautions, also on the restart. So going to have to look out for turn 2, and just the shifting here with these next Gen 7 cars. Drivers are shifting here, so that could play a role into maybe wheel spin through the corners or on corner exit, also going into the corner, downshifting. So just certain things to look after this evening.
Oh yeah, I mean, we could see it go green, or we could see a few cautions. It could go either way here tonight. But I've got the pre-race analytics pulled up here for everybody in chat. Glad to have everybody in chat, by the way. We'll get to y'all here in just a second. But air temp of 80, like I said, a track temp of 113. It's not going to make it any easier out there. And we're already seeing guys come off of 2 and get loose. 125 laps, as I said, 125 miles. Now, tires, 4 sets of tires, Will. Tires definitely going to be a problem. New Hampshire eats them things up like crazy. Now, we are seeing Kyle Heath here come down pit road. Pit road could be a problem here, too. Definitely got to watch it. 75% fuel. Now, that's going to put it, Will, and you was just talking to me earlier about it. Now, somebody mentioned to you about 100 to 102 laps, roughly. But there is a chance they could go 100 to 105, but there's an issue with that, the stage.
Yes, sir. Lap 50 will be the stage break. The cop caution will fly at lap 50 or after lap 50, I do believe. So not sure if we will. My apologies before the race. I kind of mentioned they might, but it's only scheduled for 125 laps here this evening, so may not see a green flag pit stop. But tires, there might be some guys come down for tires. Tire wear, like you said, could be a crucial thing this evening. So just have to watch and wait and see, I would say, Joshua.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, tires, I think they're going to pit for tires, definitely, for sure. So I don't think they're going to chance it when it comes to fuel. Now, pit road, 45 miles an hour with the pace speed here tonight of 55. We're going to go ahead and get to the point standings here. The top 16, Mark Whitley and Gary Slapinski changing places again coming into this week. Mark up to the top spot at 621. Gary in second, 619, only 2 back. Al Heath going to stay where he's at in third, 593, 28 behind the leader and 26 behind Gary. Chris Paff in fourth at 551, 70 behind the leader, 42 behind Kyle. Brandon Sheets in fifth at 512, 109 behind the leader, 39 behind Chris. Philip Bridgman in sixth at 487, 134 behind the leader, 25 behind Brandon. Robbie Darnell in seventh at 450, 171 behind the leader, 37 behind Philip. Jason Adams is going to move up into eighth at 431, 190 behind the leader, 19 behind Robbie. Robbie Darnell. Robbie Stewart is up a spot as well in the ninth at 418, 203 behind the leader, 13 behind Jason. Keith Hurlbutt cracking the top 10 in 10th, up a spot at 414. 207 behind the leader, 4 behind Robbie, getting over here just outside of the top 10, 11 through 16. Hunter Hayward down 3 in 11th at 403, 218 behind the leader and 11 behind Keith. Jeff Gilmore up a spot into 12th at 397, 224 behind the leader and 6 behind Hayward. Zach Duchier down a spot into 13th at 392. 229 behind the leader and 5 behind Jeff. Larry Blair is going to stay where he's at in 14th. 384, 237 behind the leader and 8 behind Zach. David Cassidy up a spot into 15th at 334, 287 behind the leader and 50 behind Larry. And Jimmy Comensberger is going to be down a spot, still in the top 16 in 16th at 302. 319 behind the leader and 32 behind Cassidy. Now we are under 2 minutes to go here, folks. We're going to step aside and play the national anthem provided by Madison Rising. Qualifying will be underway when we come back.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran fast, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the free, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. Stand of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, in the home of
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're watching MaxspeedTV.
Alrighty, folks, we are back. Qualifying is underway, and 10x10 drivers have pulled some laps here. We'll go ahead and get those qual times up here in the driver bar. Now, I am seeing Chris Paff, Kyle Heath out on the track. Jason Adams is actually sitting at the exit of pit road. Kyle Heath is going to be putting in a 31.134, and that's going to be good enough for third there, Will, for right now. So, you know, we'll see if some of these other drivers come out. They got a minute and a half to do so. It takes about 31 seconds to get around here. So, you know, somebody could knock off that 77 of Mark Whitley, but they're running out of time pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's currently Mark Whitley just about 2.5 tenths up on the 78 machine there. So just like you said, takes roughly 31 seconds for a decent enough lap time to be put down. So New Hampshire, the Magic Mile here, just fairly similar track to Gateway in a sense. You could drive them both the same, even though they're very, very distinctly different from one another. Just how you drive them is what I'm trying to say there, Joshua.
Yeah, I got you. And it looks like Jason Adams is not going to come out. So that's going to put 12 drivers in the qualifying lane, and we've got about 6 drivers that did not qualify: Coleman-Sperger, Ashley, Roy Campbell, Adams, and Buzz. That is Paul Buzz Cohen. I call him Buzz. That's what I've known him by. Well, let's go ahead and get Mark Whitley down here real quick. Mark Whitley, buddy, got a copy?
Hello.
All righty. Well, Mark, grabbing the pole out here tonight for New Hampshire, man. A little flat track going on out there. What are you thinking about tonight, Mark? You got a game plan?
Drive fast, don't wreck. Have fun. I really like this track, so I'm looking forward to it. I've always liked this track, and I like how to drive it, and it just fits my style, I think. So, hoping for good things tonight.
All right. Well, how many people are you gonna lap here tonight?
I don't know about that.
All righty, Mark.
We'll see.
Go ahead.
We'll just see. I'm not gonna give a number because I have no idea. It depends on how many cautions we'll get, and depends on as long as I keep it going straight, we should be good, I think.
All righty, buddy. Well, Mark, good luck out there tonight. It looks like you got your teammate there with you on the outside yet again. So, we'll see how things roll out here tonight, Mark. So, good luck out there, and congratulations on the pole, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, well, that was Mark Whitley, and we're going to go ahead and get him on the grid here tonight, the MaxspeedTV starting grid. Of course, Mark Whitley grabbing the pole with a 38.13. What a lap there by Mark. Gary Slapinski, his teammate, going to be starting on the outside of him in second. Chris Paff in third, Kyle Heath fourth, Brandon Hartwell fifth, and Zach Duchier going to round out the top 6. Brad Delph seventh, Keith Hurlbutt eighth, Robbie Darnell ninth, and Larry Blair in 10th. Philip Bridgman at 11th, Robbie Stewart in 12th, Kevin Roy 13th, Jim Coleman-Sperger 14th, Clifton Ashley 15th, and Paul Buzz Cohen 16th, Jason Adams 17th, Christopher Campbell 18th, and that is our field here tonight. Looking, and it does not look like Clifton Ashley or Buzz gridded yet, so we will see. Maybe there will if they start on pit road, or if they're not going to try it here tonight.
Good possibility that also may not have been able to load into the actual race, possibly. They could have, their, computer could have just said, no, not this evening, unfortunately. All that practice that they could have done just, unfortunately, could have been for nothing there, Joshua.
Yeah, definitely so. Looks like Tara out there in chat. Brantley Roden, the sponsor, Harpoon Design. Glad to see you both out there. Of course, usually on Sunday nights, Tara, one of my moderators. Of course, Chris is out here racing. So, of course, we know who Tara is going to be going for, unless she goes for somebody else. I like picking on Tara for some reason. I don't know why, but I do. Of course, a big shout out to, of course, all the moderators and everybody that, are tuning in. Do appreciate it. Looks like that pace car here will dive off to the safety of pit road. Mark Whitley, Gary Slapinski will get us going here on the front row. Here we go, folks. Loudon, New Hampshire. The green flag is out. Boogity, folks. Here we go. All right, can everybody make it out of turn number 2 safely?
And it looks like, for the most part, they have on this opening lap. Very surprising. I thought we might perhaps see an incident, but we haven't made it through turn 4 yet.
Nope, coming out of 4, here I'm up on Kyle Heath. We got Chris Paff, Zach, Brandon, all right here. Now, everybody's going to have to take it easy. Oh no, the 19 right up into the 25, and there is no caution. Good save by Hartwell.
Excellent save.
But
excellent save.
Yeah, but Will, that is going to potentially hurt in the short run. Now, in the long run, it may help him depending on how bad the damage is, but it was in the rear end of Brandon Hartwell, and I don't actually think it was the 19 of Keith that got into him by accident. We can actually get a closer look here and see. Well, if it was Keith, it was little to no damage.
Yeah, both those cars look pretty clean for the most part, I would have to say, Joshua.
Yeah, kind of looking at it here, just looking at the front end of a few drivers. Now, unfortunately, ATVO is doing ATVO things and not allowing me to see the speeds and stuff, so we're going to have to, unfortunately, reset again. And will the drivers make it 3 and 4 wide? I hope not. 3 and 4 wide at New Hampshire might not be the best of things. What do you think, Will? 3 or 4 wide here, think it'll go go okay?
Might be able to get away with 3 wide on the straightaways if you have somebody maybe overdrive an exit of a corner, slip up, get side by side, then somebody behind them, gets good momentum, and maybe possibly if they get desperate, late race caution. But don't really. I kind of agree with you. You don't definitely for sure would not want to see that.
Yeah.
Especially when you funnel into the corner. 3 into 1 here, or 3 into 3 doesn't normally work.
I'm looking at it here. Everybody pretty much single file. Did have to reset ATVO. Yeah, Brantley. His name is Will Roberts. I know him by Sinister Will here in Discord, but his name is Will Roberts, and he's been up here before. It's been a little bit, but he has been up here before. Nice to have him up here again, because it's always good to have somebody in the booth calling races and kind of chilling. Somebody's up here into the wall. I don't know exactly who that was. But boy, they got close. Oh, that might be Darnell. Boy, Darnell got real close to the wall there. Driving the high line here. Now, we haven't really talked much about the lines here in New Hampshire, Will. You got 4 lanes, but that bottom lane coming off of the corners, man, that that's not a good thing because you'll end up spinning it because of the way the banking is.
Yes, New Hampshire, very flat track for the most part. Does have a little bit of degree of banking, more so on the high side of the track. The lower lane, like you were alluding to, will probably be a bit more slick for the car, possibly where you would find more of the wheel spin. That's a good chance of why we're not seeing these drivers down there. They're more so, you could say, middle to, like you say, all the way to the wall, just about that high lane. And as we say that, some cars are now starting to transition to the bottom. So right as you say that they're not doing something, they're going to go do it. So.
Yep, that is usually how it works. You know, you look at it, you be like, man, this is some great side-by-side or whatever the case, and then all of a sudden something happens, whether it be where you're at or, you know, somewhere out on the track. But oh, Robbie Darnell has taken his car behind the wall. Wow, 10 laps in, and Robbie has called it a night already. Now, they do not get any fast repairs this season, so he could have got some damage out there that was affecting his car, and it was required, and maybe he just, you know, just couldn't do it. But he has taken it behind the wall here tonight. First driver to do so.
Good possibility, perhaps. Oh, Robbie just said in the chat, son's car broke down, and I have to go get him, so.
Oh, yep, I just now seen that, yep. Oh, man. Oh, gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yes, sir. Family, you know, gotta go help out the family.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Family comes first, that's the thing, you know. All right, battle back here. It looks like real quick. Oh, well, that was real quick. Now we got another one. Keith Hurlbutt and Jim Coleman-Sperger doing some side-by-side racing. Not a whole lot of side-by-side going on, but there's a few.
Jim was one of the cars that did not qualify, so he does not have that extra might as well say 2.5 laps on that set of tires. So may not be too big of an advantage, but still, Jim also, for the most part, he does like to try to work his way up through a field of cars. So Jim, really for the most part, since we have seen him in the opening stanza of this race, Joshua, he's been committed to that middle to high lane through the corners. So that seems to be where the speed's at for him at this moment in time.
Well, looking at it here, yeah, he's running that middle lane, not really taking it down to that yellow line, which could save in the long run some tires. And I did not know, you mentioned something about, you know, qualifying and getting into the race. I didn't know qualifying, those tires came into the race. So that's kind of news to me.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, the tire you qualify on, and then the set of tires that are laying in the pits. So they have 4 sets laying in the pits, and the ones that they qualify or start on. So as far as I know, the qualifying tire carries over to race start. So
okay. Well, that's news to me. Well, looking at it, Mark Whitley still up top. Gary has fallen back a little bit. He's got some company here with Kyle Heath. Oh, Gary having some issues out there. Falling back here to third up here for a second and third place. So I don't know exactly what happened to Gary, but looks like Kyle, yeah, did get around to P2, so we'll continue to watch it here and see if Kyle can keep that P2 spot or if Gary's going to put a little bit more pressure on him. But both of these guys running the mid to high line too. I do see an arc, a little bit of an arc though, not much from Kyle Heath. Is that normal here? Because it looks like he goes middle lane and then right before he comes out, he kind of arcs it up a little bit.
Well, that is a technique, diamonding the corner for a lot of tracks that are similar, like New Hampshire, especially Martinsville. Even you could do it more so as well on a 1.5 miles, but it's very easier to do it on a short track or like here at New Hampshire, like I said, to where you enter the corner, you can hit the middle, but also, like you say, maybe float up or just cut down a little bit. That's just, in a way, there. Oh, we have the 73 here had a moment out of turn 2. Larry Blair.
Yep. No.
Almost got stuck there on the infield on the grass.
And no yellow. No yellow. I did see his speed go all the way down to about 44, and I was wondering what in the world is going on. So I clicked on him, and he was cutting some grass.
Yes, he became our lawnmower there on the back straightaway. A lot of nose damage on the front end, so must have had an impact. The front end of the car must have twitched around on him coming out of turn 2, and must have nose impacted there on that left front ever so. Yeah, probably a medium hit, one might have to say.
Yeah, there is a little damage.
So
there is a little damage there. We'll see how bad it's affecting him. Leader's coming around, though. That is going to put Larry 1 lap down. With that being said, now Christopher Campbell is the last driver on the lead lap, running up here in 14th. Started 18th, but we only had 16 drivers start the race, so he did move up a few spots. And we'll see if Christopher Campbell is able later on get going and maybe upset the field here.
Well, there's always some to watch out for, like you were saying, Gary dropping down in position into third. He could just be letting Kyle go by him. He could be saving some tire, just waiting. Like we mentioned, we do have that stage break, lap 51 here, or lap 50. So some drivers could just be really taking it easy on this opening stanza of this race.
Yep. Lap 50, when they hit lap 50, watching a battle here between the 3 and the 11. That is Jim Coleman-Spurger and Robbie Stewart. And they are still side by side here, so we got a good little battle going on between these two. And 19 of Keith coming up here, gonna have to definitely watch him as well. Not sure exactly what's going on, but you're bleeding through, and it's coming through Discord again. So
no, import.
Just letting you know. Not entirely sure what's going on there, but oh yeah, there we go. All right, I think we got her fixed.
All right, is that better?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, we'll keep an eye on it here, and it looks a lot, man. Robbie, Keith, Jim, Kevin, Roy is even in the mix-up here, Will. So we'll continue to watch this little battle going on. Lap 25 of 125. Lap 25 of 50. Of course, lap 50 will be the white flag checkered for the stage. Will be when they hit 51. Robbie Stewart got into the wall, allowed Keith to get around. Watching the 12 of Kevin Roy here too. So, man, tires starting to show here, Will.
Yes, once you run in that high lane for a long period of time at any track, you can kind of slip up it more so and just find yourself kind of in the wall by mistake. And those slight mistakes can turn costly as far as losing position or losing a lot of time trying to drag yourself out of the wall. Kevin Roy now really putting up a fight to get around the 3 car there, and going to successfully do so.
I don't know if you would call that a slide job, but he did manage to get around him. But man, these guys get close to the wall. All right, we're checking on a few more. Brad Delph, Brandon Hartwell. They're trying to get around the 73 of Larry, who, like I said, is a lap down. It looks like they will do that successfully. Larry's not gonna fight him. Brad Delph up into 6th. Brandon Hartwell 7th. Chris Paff right up ahead of them. Now Chris is coming up on the 21 of Zach. That would be for 4th. We do have a potential battle up here for that 4th spot. Mark Whitley, I wouldn't necessarily say he's driving away with it, because he does have Kyle Heath about 8/10, 9/10, about a second behind him. And that's not really a whole lot of time here at New Hampshire. You know, Mark makes a mistake, Kyle's going to be right there.
Yes, Kyle keeping Mark Whitley honest here. I do agree with you. Mark also setting a decent pace. He does have a few drivers a lap down, but Larry probably battling, good possibility, maybe some toe link damage with the left front. So that could really hamper him being off the pace. Just the way the damage looks, that could be possibly what he's dealing with after that hit to the inside wall. And like you say, the Deutscher battle with the 22 of Paff, that probably going to be a good battle there for 4th and 5th, and it looks like it is. They are exchanging position here.
Yep, Chris did get around him. I call him Douchier. I don't know why. I've just always called him that.
It sounds really great when you say that, though. Like it you know, I do like your pronunciation. If only I could make it sound like you, I would. It sounds almost kind of Cajun-like whenever you make it sound like that, instead of the German or European sounding it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you know, that's just the way I pronounce it. He even told me how to pronounce it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with what I've said, but you know, for a couple of seasons now. We'll just go with that, you know. But he is putting that pressure on Chris, and we'll watch, you know, continue. Oh, speaking of that, Chris just smacked the wall.
Yeah, just kind of missed his braking point, one would have to assume, for turn 3. Maybe just got the track, just let the track kind of get away from him perhaps, or maybe locked up on one of the front tires. These drivers could be using maybe possibly a lot of rear brake or a lot of front brake. So if you're using a lot of front brake, those front tires are going to lock up a really good chance more than what they would. And the rears, good possibility of getting one of the rears locked up, and then you're going to slide into the corner from the rear. But not too sure what that could have been. Like I said, a mixture of things right there.
Yep. I put, let's see here, I put Chris with Brad and Brandon now. Zach is right there up ahead of them. So we've got 4 drivers right here that are pretty close together. Mark has extended his lead to about a second and a half roughly. It's going between 1.3 and 1.5, and Kyle just had a little bit of a moment there. But you know, I got to get back here to Zach, Chris, Brad, Brandon, because we got 4 drivers, right here that are together. And you know, if somebody misses their braking point, or somebody is not on their braking and or letting off the gas, we're gonna get into one another. So we'll definitely have to watch it.
You know, and instead of maybe a lockup, Chris Praff could have just overdrove the entry to turn 3. It just as easy to overdrive these corners as it is to lock up into these corners. It's almost like a two drag strips basically going into long, sweeping left-handers here at New Hampshire. You just kind of think, at times, if you get into a long green flag run, you dive into these corners, and you're like, man, am I going to get out of it? And you eventually do, but that's just what it feels like from time to time.
Watching Jim Coleman-Spurger and Keith Hurlbut here, that's a battle for 8th. Him in that Folgers 11. Pretty sharp paint he's got out there. I'm a big coffee guy. He's got some front end damage on that car, it looks like. Might be, yeah, he does. That right front there. Looks like he might have hit the wall, but yeah, he's messing up my coffee car. I'm a big coffee.
Yeah, that's almost, I would say that's a modern take on possibly the Tim Richmond Folgers car from the late 80s when he drove for Brick. Yes, that good car owner there that I'm having trouble with. But anywho, Tim Richmond back in the late 80s, he was sponsored by Folgers. Then after Tim Richmond, Mark Martin had it for a few years as well, but it kind of looks like a modern take on the Tim Richmond scheme. Keith Hurlbut might have gotten a bit loose and might have tagged the wall just a little bit there coming out of turn 4.
Now that did allow Kevin Roy to close the gap a little bit on him. I've been watching the time here. Down to about 6/10, 7/10 of a second. In the turns, of course, they're going to lose a little bit of time coming out of the turns. They're going to gain a little bit of time. So, it kind of goes back and forth. But, man, Mark Whitley, golly, 2.3 seconds now ahead of Kyle Heath, who is coming around the 5, or trying to get around the 5 here, of Philip Bridgman. Jason Adams is a lap down now. So, 10 drivers left on the lead lap. Kevin Roy is the last driver on the lead lap right now. Now, of course, we'll be coming to the stage here in about 10 laps. They just hit lap 41. So, caution will fly at 50 when they take 51. White flag will be at lap 50. So we are getting to the stage break. And, man, they are really winding this race down quickly. What happens when you go green?
Yes, sir, Joshua, I do agree with you there. Love the green flag running. And also note back to Kevin Roy, he's about 4, maybe 5 seconds, maybe 6, depending on the current lap times of the race leader, away from, he's in that danger zone of possibly getting lapped before the stage end. The delta time from here to the end of the stage and back to the race leader of Mark Whitley here. So just got to keep that in mind. Hopefully when if he does get to him, he might put up a little bit of fight to stay on that lead lap. So 10 cars, like you say, on the lead lap. This battle here, this 3 battle car group of Jim Coleman-Spurger and Hurlbut and Kevin Roy. So 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yep. Now looking at it here, I'm on Kevin right now. And if I go back to Mark, he's entering turn 3. Kevin Roy is coming out of turn 4. So they're pretty much right there together. Across the stripe is Kevin, and then across the stripe is Mark. So, it's like you said, about 4-second difference. But man, Mark is coming. Kevin's gonna have to watch it. Did Mark just scrape the wall?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Just a kiss. Just a slight kiss and a drag. But he got out of it almost as quick as he hit it.
Man, them tires, though, I'm sure those tires are shot.
Yes, good possibility, especially 45 laps into this green flag running of this opening stint here. one could only imagine, as well as just the racing line that you take coming out of these corners, right up against that wall, so to speak, on the corner exit.
Man, I got to give a shout out to everybody out there tuning in. We got 17 likes and 18 watching. So big shout out to everybody tuning in. Thank you all for not only supporting MaxspeedTV, but SRU and Harpoon Design. And, you know, without y'all and without, you know, the sponsor and Sim Racing Unleashed, of course, we wouldn't be here doing this. And, you know, we got some pretty good racing going on, but, you know, coming to the stage, it's going to unfortunately trap some drivers a lap down, and some drivers will probably get their lap back. Now, it also depends. I do want to say this. Kevin Roy doesn't go a lap down. He would be the driver to get the lucky dog. Right now, it's going to be Jason Adams in the 24, who's the first driver a lap down. And coming to the stage, of course, Jason would be the lucky dog. He would get his lap back. And it's going to trap, I do believe, several a lap down, though. Philip Bridgman, Christopher Campbell, Robbie Stewart, and Larry Blair. But then again, things could change. All right. Well, next time by, we will be at the white flag for the stage.
Yes, I do believe that would leave us with 4 cars left a lap down. So those 4 drivers would particularly maybe want to see a quick caution after the restart of the stage, and maybe the race leaders might come back into pit if it's, say, like a 10-lap run or so, get a small run on the tires, and some of those drivers stay out, perhaps, if that would be the strategy call to go and get those laps back.
All right, well, here we go. Coming to the stage, it's going to be Mark Whitley grabbing the stage victory here, just kind of waiting here for the caution to come out. Already did the white flag, and just kind of waiting here for them to throw the stage. There it is, and it's going to trap Keith Hurlbut and Kevin Roy a lap down. I don't know exactly how.
Yes, he got by them.
Yeah.
Going into turn 1, he got 2 for 1 right there. Kind of a shock deal, because I wasn't really expecting him to pass them once he got to them. But in a way, hey, the more you can trap a lap down, the more you don't have to worry about those particular drivers, in one sense of the speaking.
Yep, got Mark Whitley up here. They are catching up to the pace car. And, yeah, Jim Comensberger. So Keith Hurlbut will be our lucky dog. He'll get his lap back if he doesn't come down pit road, which if you're a lap down, I think you got to go around at least one more time. But Mark Whitley is going to bring all the lead lap cars down pit road here. Stage break. Man, Mark Whitley, he knows this track well, and he's showing it.
Yes, like you said, just over 2.5 second lead. I think he might have pulled out to almost 3 there, over 13 of Kyle Heath. So had a good buffer to try to come into the pits as the race leader and leave as the race leader as well.
Well, we'll see here who's going to be the first one off of pit road here. Is it going to be Mark, or is it going to be Gary? It's going to be Mark Whitley, first driver off of pit road here. We'll get him down here real quickly for his stage win. I don't want to disturb him. There we go. He crossed the stripe there. Let's go ahead and get him back down here. Mark, got a copy there, buddy? Mark Whitley, got a copy?
Gotcha.
All right. Well, man, you're showing that you really know the track. You said you love it. No, it's definitely showing. Man, how you feeling? How was the tires after about 50 laps?
Yeah, it was feeling pretty good. I mean, tires are just wearing a little bit pretty evenly. Right rear was getting a little treacherous if you got back on the gas too soon. I had pretty even tire wear though, so I feel pretty good about it. Looks like we're going to be pretty close to being able to. We should be able to make it from here. It's going to be kind of close, but I think by the time at the end of the run, you're saving gas just by running slower. So we should be good to make it. I think at the end of this now. So it's going to just be. Hopefully, we can go clean and green and just set sail.
Well, you know, you might be good on fuel, but what's the tires going to be like? Are you guys going to, you know, eat them up, or you think the tires are going to hold up for the final laps?
Both my right sides were like 82-ish,
Oh,
so
golly.
I mean, I think we're fine. At least I am. I don't know about anybody else, but I think me and Gary both had about the same tire wear. So I think it's just pretty much that was 50 laps. This is going to be about 70, so it's only about another 20 laps. So I think just take care of your tires at the beginning of the run, have some extra in case you need it, you know, take it from there.
All righty, we'll let you get back to it, Mark. Good luck down there. Congratulations on the stage win. Man, we'll see what happens. Good luck.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Mark Whitley. Now getting ready for the stage here. Stages are done because they only do one. So coming to the green here, it'll be Mark, Kyle, Gary, Chris, Zach, Brad, Brandon, Jim, Philip, and Kevin Roy rounding out our top 10. Kevin is the first driver a lap down. So all your drivers that are a lap down will be battling for position. And they are wanting probably that quick yellow wheel. So get us going here, bud, as we come into 3.
Yeah, it's going to be, like you say, Mark Whitley here on the lead control on the restart. Like you say, only 9 cars back on the lead lap, so Mark Whitley, good hole shot restart. And his teammate Gary taking advantage of these fresh tires, swooping into second place from Kyle Heath as they all funnel off of turn 2. Now back down the back straightaway. I expect to see, try to see some of these competitors after this stage break try to stay with the top 3 a bit more. As we see some passing, Chris Pratt just did not get a good corner exit out of turn 4, going to lose 2 positions here. So
yeah, kind of back here watching, and now back to that single file action. We've seen this. This just happened at the start of the race, so maybe, you know, kind of wind down some more laps here. I mean, it's not a long race. 125 laps in New Hampshire is really not a, you know, not a long race. But, you know, when the tires, if the tires get worn out, it makes it even longer. But, whoa, we got a car into the wall. Brandon Hartwell, that is going to bring us to our first caution of the evening. First official caution of the evening, I should say. And, oh, it looks like Brandon just shot to the right. Looking at it here, yeah. Ooh, made a little bit of a move there. Right there, and then right up into that outside wall. Oh, not good.
had a bit of understeer than oversteer when he went to correct it, so just very bad. We saw earlier in practice that turn, like in the middle to the exit of turn 2, was very treacherous and just seemed to, fresh set of tires, trying to get these tires up to temp, not trying to lose any spots here on the restart, trying to gain, instead of lose. So just had a moment. Like we talked about earlier, don't want to make those mistakes, but when you make them, they can be quite costly here.
Looking at it here, Brandon Hartwell was smoking, so therefore he will probably unfortunately be done for the evening. I hate to see it.
He's going to have a lot of repair work to do probably before they'll let him back out on the track.
Oh, it's gonna. Oh, he was smoking. His engine shot.
Yes.
So, you know, it'll take 35, 45 minutes. We'll be
He
done
was
with this
missing-
race before then.
Yes, good point. Good point. He was missing a lot of the front fender of the car. Looked like the fender was trying to come off the car. So,
Yep.
like you said, also smoking. So, just a hard impact. Car came up off the ground in the rear just a little bit. So,
All right, Mark Whitley, Gary 1-2, Kyle 3rd, Zach 4th, Chris 5th, Brad 6th, Philip Bridgman 7th, Jason Adams is coming down pit road. He is in 8th. Jim Coleman-Sperger is in 9th, and Kevin Roy rounding out the top of 10 here. I would kind of difficult to interview drivers, especially at a track like New Hampshire. Out of turn number 2, they'll probably get the one to go this coming up time by. But, you know, it's been, you know, all Mark Whitley here tonight, Will, and he, you know, just showing what he can do here at New Hampshire.
yes,
He's
sir,
hard
indeed,
to
have
beat.
to agree. When you can be very consistent at a track, and particularly doesn't matter where it's at, very good to show up and set on the pole, kind of pretty much try to dominate a race like he has been doing so far this evening. So that's always good to do. Makes you feel really good, confidence booster. Just what a lot of these drivers need. We talked about it a little bit before that stage break, and then you alluded to it during. Some of these drivers that were a lap down maybe get a quick caution. Some of them, I think 1 or 2 might have got a wave around. They stayed out. I think Philip Bridgman got the wave around the previous stage break, so he was one that truly capitalized on this. And Jim Coleman-Sperger, like you said, I believe he came back in, got another set of tires. So coming up on 60 laps to go here. I do believe, if I did the quick math right. So, like I said, now would be the time where I would expect some of these drivers. We're back in the racing saddle again, green flag out in the air. I would expect some of these drivers that were kind of just hanging back in that battle group with Deutscher earlier, Chris Pratt and Brad Delph, I would expect them to try to hang with the front leaders now. It's obviously definitely go time, try to stick with them. Kyle Heath trying to do what Gary did on the previous restart, and that is take second place away. Might have had some hip and shoulder, but obviously got really close. Now Gary's going to lose at least 2 positions. Zach really putting up a fight there for 3rd. As we still see Kyle really into that diamonding of the corner technique here at New Hampshire. He has really been keeping that race leader in the 77 real in check and honest. Been at least 2.5 seconds back.
Yep.
For the most part. Chris Pratt with another problem coming through turn 4. Again, on a restart, just couldn't get planted perhaps, or coming off the corner there. Brad Delph able to get by him. Philip Bridgman, Jim Coleman-Sperger going at it with Kevin Roy in tow right behind him.
Yeah, good
Not
battling
sure
going.
if Kevin's still a lap down. He did not get the waiver, the plucky dog back caution.
No, he did not. Jason Adams, I think. I
Yes,
think Jason's the one that got it. Yeah. So we have lost 2 drivers, Brandon Hartwell, and of course Robbie had a family emergency here, so that's definitely understandable. And Brandon, of course, overcorrecting, it looked like there. But it happens, you know, at a flat track like, you know, even Bristol, you know, it's not flat, but, you know, if you overcorrect or, you know, something of that nature, you're definitely going to have issues. But, you know, we got some good battling going on right now. How about we go on board with a driver? You know, I've been on Philip Bridgman before. You know, I think I did it last week. I was on Philip, so I'm trying to go with somebody a little different. We could go on, let's see here. How about we go on Kevin Roy? Now, I know he's a lap down, but it does kind of show you, you know, even if you're a lap down, you still got to do some battling to stay at least the first driver a lap down. And that's what Kevin is trying to do, is be that first driver a lap down just in case a caution was to come out. And he's doing a pretty good job of doing it, right behind the 11 of Jim Colemanspurger.
Yes, when you're in that lucky dog position, that first car 1 lap down, you really are hoping, praying, wishing, wanting a caution and not being a part of it. That is the key factor. So Kevin doing, like you say, an honest job of trying to be that first car 1 lap down, so he can get that lap back, like you say. So good on board here. We can really see, like we mentioned earlier, drivers shifting here. So mainly get up to speed on the straightaways, then downshifting into the corners, keeping it into that 4th gear until about right as you get it straight off a corner exit, then halfway down these straightaways, shifting into top gear, 5th gear. And it seems like, well, I got into 5th gear, and right as you get into it, you almost got to get out of it again.
Yep. Doing a pretty good job, man. These guys are knocking it down left and right. But hey, we gotta get back up front here, because we have a potential battle for the lead here. Mark Whitley and Kyle Heath. Kyle coming up quickly on that 77. He is putting some pressure on Mark, and Mark got really close to that wall. Golly, he arcs it down in there. Man, a little bit of mirror driving maybe coming from Kyle Heath following that 77. Possibly. I mean, would you mirror drive a driver on New Hampshire? I would.
Well, yes, if you see that they have gained ground on you, possibly, or just kind of see what they have been doing ever so slightly different, maybe take their line away, put that dirty air in front of their face to where they can't, their front end of their car is going to react a bit differently through the corner perhaps. So everything that you can to keep that competitor behind you, that includes, like I said, taking their lane away from them to where they can't, they're going to kind of plateau, kind of be stuck with that certain gap to where they can't have that ever so slight advantage that they were having, that certain line that kind of propelled them to get up there to you. They're just gonna be stuck behind you now. But that kind of seems, in a way, like what Mark Whitley has done here, taken the line away from Kyle Heath. But Kyle Heath, they're still in tow with him.
Yep.
Not letting him get away.
Oh, man, we got a potential battle back between Gary and Zach as well. So, you know, we've got a couple of drivers here. Looks like Brad Delph, Chris Papp, also pretty close together. And, you know, thinking about it, they're 2x2. We've heard that before.
Yeah, we got a few duos as far as in a little battle amongst themselves. So always good to see potential battles as well.
Well, folks,
you have Blair and Campbell back here in the 73 and 68. They're battling for position amongst themselves on the same lap. They're only one lap down, but on the
Nope.
same lap.
You know, these guys are, whoa, the 3 and the 19. Oh, Keith into the wall.
Man.
Oh, we're not going to have a yellow here. Oh, man, I do want to do a little bit of a rewind here, so give me just a second. I can slow the rewind down here and kind of find out what happened. I had to click a button here real quick, but, oh, that's what happened. The 3 got loose, and the 19 was right there. 3 got up into the wall. And the 19, oh, man, a hard lick into that inside pit wall there. Now, he does keep it going. But, man, heavy damage. And did I see somebody smoking? Oh, no. Did the Larry just blow? Or did he lock it down? It looks like he locked it down to come down pit road. So, I don't see any smoke coming from the 73. That's a good thing. However, the bad thing is he's on pit road.
Yeah, it could have just been a real quick lockup getting into that commitment line right there at the pit wall, basically, here on iRacing. And like you say, Keith Hurlbut, wrong place, wrong time. Whenever Stewart in the 3 had his moment with the wall on the exit of turn 4 there. So very unfortunate that a caution did not fly. That would have been right at lap with the 50 to go mark. That happened at lap 75, so would have been kind of interesting, intriguing here to get a caution, get a reset for the race leaders, get a fresh set of tires, even though they only been on the car for about 20-25 laps here. So would have been interesting restart, to say the least, with 50 or about 40 some odd laps to go, but did not get that caution at that moment in time there, Joshua. So
Yep. And I'm looking at some stats here, and looking at kind of a stint run, a little bit of a gap, I should say. Not much of a gap, but a little bit. Now, our top 4 has been out here at about 27 laps. Brad Delph has only been out here at about 20. He had a pit box stop of 4.6. Going back a little bit further to Jim Coleman'sberger, he had a pit stop box of 38.3. He's been out here at about 20 laps, 14.5 for Philip Bridgman. He's been out here at about 20 laps. So there is about an 7-8 lap difference between some of these drivers. Now, could that change or help, with the tire management?
For sure, I would have to say it will for those competitors. Perhaps they came down pit road when that caution came out just a few laps into that restart from the stage break. So Jim Coleman'sberger had that right front damage. I believe he repaired it the best he could in the time allowed, to where he did not go a lap down, so got a fresh set of tires. And Philip Bridgman did the same as well, came down. He got the wave around, so he was not able to pit under the stage break. Kind of a smart move to play, because he was a lap down. He was really banking, hoping for potentially a caution. He got it, and hopefully maybe he can finish on the lead lap, but currently about 13.5 seconds off the pace of the race leader. So hopefully that set of tires will help him through the end of this race. But Philip, kind of a short to medium run guy, not too consistently quick on the long run. Stewart having another problem that time out of turn number 2, but he caught it, saved it, kept it going straight. So
you was talking about Philip Bridgman. Philip is on the lead lap. Jason's on the lead lap. See, 9 drivers on the lead lap here, and Kevin Roy, first driver, lap down. So we've got 4 drivers, 1 lap down. We got 1 driver that is 3 laps down, Larry Blair. Larry not having the race he wanted here tonight, but regardless, it is going to be a top 15 for all 14 drivers left out here on the racetrack, regardless of if they're lapped down or not. So it'll be a top 15. I know some drivers probably wanting, you know, top 10, and it could still happen, Will. I mean, we're on lap 85 here. Well, lap 85. It'll be 86 this coming up time by. Plenty of laps still left to, you know, for, you know, maybe that dreadful yellow that some drivers probably don't want to see, or, you know, somebody make a little bit of a mistake and get around some drivers. So we got plenty of time for something to happen. And, you know,
Yes.
it could happen or it couldn't. Now, do we want it to happen? No. We want these drivers to have a clean race. We've already seen issues out of the corner. So, you know, it's New Hampshire. It's racing.
Yes, closing in on 40 laps to go, I do believe.
Let's
so,
see here. We can take a look at that caution number. Actually, 39 to go, but hey, you were close.
My apologies. Yes, indeed. So,
Man. No lead changes. It's been all Mark Whitley here tonight, but hey, he's, you know, without a fight. I mean, I got to say, the 13 of Kyle Heath really putting some pressure on him. Even though Kyle's not right on his bumper, he's right
still
there.
yes, he is. He's, like you said earlier, if he was to make a mistake, striking distance, you know, he is within reason.
Yep.
And more so this stint of the race, this run of the race, than any other that we had. He's really on the heels of Whitley, just to say, hey, I'm here. I'm trying to put up a fight, trying to have something for you. I think he could just be riding, perhaps. But just be lurking in the water.
It'd be lurking, yeah, lurking.
He's like, you know, you can go out, just have all that nice, fun, clean air, lead this race, dominate it, but I might just try to sneak by you at the end. But also, Kyle just may not all be, you know, there is a reason. Yep, extra close that time to the wall.
Yep, Kyle got a little
and I
close.
think Gary might have kissed it.
Oh, yeah, Gary Slapinski back here. Gary's got some company even behind him. Zach's got company with Brad. Now, do you think we're going to see these guys come down pit road, or do you think they're going to try to hammer it out and just get done with it? Well, what do you think they're going to do?
I just think they're going to try to take it easy, get done with it. Like you say, they're gonna nurse these tires home unless a caution happens. I don't see them coming down pit road, Joshua.
And you know, I kind of will agree with you. Will kind of agree with you there, Will. Yeah, I said that right. Man, I'm here, folks. I'm here. Trust me. I'm kind of watching it here. Not a whole lot going on, but again, folks. Tonight, the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series, Harpoon Design, Season 14, Round 16, the New Hampshire 125, Loudon, of course, the Magic Mile, as it's known for. So again, a big shout out to, of course, Brantley Roden for coming on board, sponsoring the series again this season for SRU. Will, a big shout out to you for coming up in the booth, helping me out again. Robbie for putting on an awesome league over here at SRU. Of course, one of the admins and kind of, you know, taking over the Cup Series. So big shout out to Robbie. Let's see here, Tara, Brendan, all the admins over here, moderators, do appreciate it, and everybody out there that is not talking but watching. I know Olivia is out there. She doesn't talk much, but I know she's out there. So. Everybody that is not chatting in chat, thank you all again for coming out here and supporting these guys, showing your, you know, that you love to see racing. And, you know, yeah, we're spread out a little bit, not many battles going on, but still yet anything can happen. You know, me and Will is watching it, so yeah, man, thank you all again.
Well, I'm just going to say thank you again for letting me be a part with you, be here calling the races again on Sundays with you. It's an honor and a privilege. And like we noted, Kyle Heed's still there, still that 5/10, not let that get any.
Uh-oh, something happened to... Well, we do have a yellow. Oh no, Philip Bridgman. And something happened to my commentator. I don't know what happened to Will. He just disappeared on me. Oh, there he is. Let's let him get back in here and let him get all configured out here. Welcome back, Will. We just had a yellow, and it looks like out of 2, Philip Bridgman tries to save it and just could not get it down, and he spun it there as well. Oh, man. So, yep, there is that yellow. We will see everybody come down pit road, I would assume, for at least some tires here and that fuel. Might as well get the fuel while you're down there. You know, you're going to be on pit road. So, well, this is definitely going to change a few things.
Yes, very sorry. Got disconnected there from the Discord. It popped up and said, so very sorry, Joshua.
It's all right. It happens. It happens. Hey, I've been disconnected from Discord and TeamSpeak. So, technology. Welcome to
gotta
technology.
love it. In these days, it's hard to live without it. You got to use it for the most part. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Caution here. Closing, for the most part, closing laps of the race, getting basically this restart. We're going to have probably 25, 23 laps to go maybe when we get restart. So
Roughly like that, yeah, something like that along that nature. Looks like Mark is going to be the first one off of pit road. Kyle's going to be right behind him. Gary Slapinski, Zach Duchier, Brad Delph, Chris Paff, Jason Adams, I do believe. Yep. Kevin Roy, believe, is back here, yeah, in 8th. Jim Comensberger is actually still sitting on pit road here. 44 and climbing. There he goes, 46.1. Don't know if he was speeding down pit road or he was just getting some damage fixed, but he did spend some time on pit road here. Philip Bridgman is on the lead lap here. Now we've got 10 drivers on the lead lap. Here comes Robbie Stewart, Keith Hurlbutt, and Christopher Campbell is on pit road in his pit box as well. So... man, this caution is going to change some things here, Will. And Olivia out there in chat, she's here watching. I figured she would be.
yes, I agree with you about Jim repairing a bit of damage. That's probably why he was still stable in pit road for that long period of time, just repairing from the looks of things that right front a bit more. So now would be a good time to get all that damage that you can get repaired a little bit here and there. So we would speculate these drivers, of course, like you said, taking another set of tires. So
all right, here we go. They got the one to go. So next time by, we will be green. And we will be actually at that 25 to go mark because we'll hit lap 101. So now we got some things going on we got to talk about. So we got everybody on fresh tires. Everybody now has the fuel to make it for sure. Man, this is gonna heat up a little bit, Will.
Yes, you wonder if Gary's going to try to get that second place back, really apply pressure to Kyle. Hopefully Kyle can get one of the best restarts of his sim career life here.
All right, here we go. Pace car is off and away. And guess what, folks? We are going to be hitting the 25 to go green. Back in the air here tonight at New Hampshire. Down into turn number 1. We're going to definitely have to watch it. Got a really close battle between the 14, or was there. Man, got a little close. Somebody back there is into the wall, and off the wall they go. I believe that was the 19 of Keith Hurlbutt, but he got it off the wall side by side for second, side by side for fourth. Oh, golly, man, is Chris going to go? Now he's going to go to the try. Man, that 21 of Zach. Golly, we just got battles everywhere.
Yes, Kyle Heath was able to stick around the outside and defend Gary on that restart, put Gary at bay, and go after the attack of the race leader of Mark Whitley in the 77. Like you say, Zach was under pressure. Just that exit of turn 2 on the restarts, cold tires, bringing him up to temp. He is able to get some ground now, and Delph and Kraft going at it for would-be 5th place.
Yep.
5th and 6th right there.
Whoa,
Jim
man.
Coleman'sberger now making his way, trying to get into the top 5. That is 7th place, Jim.
And looking at it, yep. 7th up here, Brad and Chris finally got it figured out there. Man, that was a good battle going on there between the 22 and the 14 for sure. Now, Chris has got his eyes set on Zach. Zach's got his eyes set on 78 of Gary. Gary's trying to run down Kyle, but man, Kyle Heath, Kyle started in 4th. He's not had some luck the past couple of races. He's trying to get back into that groove. And right now, Kyle has got his eyes set on that 77. And all it takes is that final lap. If Kyle can get around the 77 somehow after the white flag and take that checkered, it doesn't matter if Mark leads all the laps. It's that final lap that is really the most important lap.
Yes, indeed. And it seems that Kyle, throughout this race, he was diamonding the corner, so kind of getting a little bit higher through the center of the corner. But once he gets up here to Mark Whitley, Mark kind of had taken that lane away. So he's been, towards the end of this race, he has lowered that lane about a half a lane or a full lane down the track ever so slightly. And I can imagine once you get to the back of a car here at New Hampshire in these next gen cars, it would just be very difficult to try to pass that car. Just everybody's driving style is different. Yep. Everybody has different driving lines as well. So different braking, shifting, lifting points, so that's what makes everybody ever so slightly different from each other. So yep. That's also what we're seeing there between 1st and 2nd.
Well, you're
like you
was talking about the lift point, the braking point, shifting. My lift point may be, way before, say, your lift point. You may be on the gas a little longer than me. That could cause, some issues. So you got to be aware of the driver ahead of you. Okay, where does he or she, because you do have female racers on iRacing, so, where is he or she's, lift point or braking point, because you got to know that or learn that, because if you don't, you're going to slam right into the back of them, and we've seen that once or twice here tonight, and it didn't end well.
Yes, you really try to be courteous with your fellow competitors, your fellow drivers on track in the same league or series that you race with. Zach Goisher had a moment there coming out of turn 2, really let the car slip away, went down the track and had to gather it back up, lost a position to Chris Praff there in the 22.
Yep,
so
sure did.
just all about trying to finesse these corners, corner entry, corner exit especially. So, but yes, like you say.
Whoa! Oh, boy, Zach. Man, that was that was a Cole Brown
that was a
moment.
slap. And yes, indeed. Might need a change for sure. Imagine being an onboard. Looking.
You know, it might not have looked too terribly bad, folks, but you know, when you're a driver and you do what he did, get loose and get really close to the wall like that, it's a moment for sure. And that did allow. Oh, we got a yellow! Whoa! Oh, I did not foresee that coming. Oh, Robbie Stewart in the 3. All right, well, 14 to go, and Robbie, did he just lose it? Coming into what turn is that's turn 1? It looks like.
Yes, going through turns 1 and 2. In the exit, he got way down on the bottom. We haven't really seen drivers down on basically the flat of the corners here, and we were kind of in fear that might happen if we did see drivers down there. So kind of went down towards the bottom of the track and the exit of turn 2, and the car just got out from underneath him there, back in, just came around. Luckily he was able to lock it down, nobody hit him, so not really going to come out of here with any damage perhaps, just gonna have to change that set of tires, you would think. He probably flat spotted those, so.
All right, well, man, oh man, I did not foresee another yellow coming, but you know that's what happens. Now they're gonna have to go.
Looks like these drivers are staying out.
Yeah,
for the most part, these front runners.
Well, Will, you know, only 13 to go. I mean, you really don't want to come down pit road if you don't have to. I mean, it's so hard to pass as it is. You give up that position, the odds of getting it back is going to be about, what, 2%?
You would think for the most part everybody would still have one set of tires still laying in the pit. So I would have expected these guys to come down if we did see a late race caution.
Maybe they're trying to save it for a potential GWC attempt. I mean, we do have
good possibility. If we see another caution, then we would possibly see the leaders perhaps, but we did see Philip Bridgman, I do believe, come down pit road, so potentially he's put on a set of tires. Not sure who else came down with him. Jim, I think, as well.
Let's see.
So,
well, I'm looking here, and I'm showing Chris Paff, Jim Coleman-Spurger, you are correct, and, of course, Philip Bridgman. So I do believe, they did come down 14 and a half seconds, roughly, for Jim and Philip. Chris at about 16 and a half. So, driver getting way off onto the apron there. But scrubbing tires, that's probably what they're doing. You don't have to worry about fuel. You got plenty of fuel.
Yes, sir. So with this restart here, probably going to get it with 10 to go. So 10 lap shootout here to settle this. Wonder where the guys that just pitted for that last set of tires or that set of tires they just put on their car, not know if it is their last set or not, where they're going to be able to gain any position, where they might be able to finish in the closing laps of this race there, Joshua. So if that does help them at all, that is, coming down, we talked about how hard it can be to get a pass completed here at New Hampshire without a little bit of help of the competitor making a mistake. So everybody getting doubled up, double foul restarts here. So lights are out on that pace car.
Yep, they are,
Yeah.
and we are entering turn 3 here. So I'll go ahead and get us going here, Will, and we'll finish out the last 10 laps. It could be more. It could
Yep,
be more,
could be.
folks. It really could. So it looks like, man, Mark Whitley, he is ready to go. We'll see here what kind of restart everybody can get. And here we go into the Geico start zone here. Green is out. Everybody's back on the loud pedal. And Robbie is telling, he's going to go. Whoa, here we go. Battle for the lead. Oh, man. Kyle went way up there. And a side-by-side battle for P3. Oh,
Yes, Zach
man.
Deutscher trying to get into that third position. Gary, I don't think had a good restart, but Kyle Heath, restart of the night. Not sure if Mark Whitley possibly spun the tires, but he did not get a good launch like he had been the previous restarts this evening.
Whoa!
Oh, wow, intense side by side right there for the lead.
And Kyle,
Oh,
whoa,
oh, no.
Gary going sideways. No
Kevin
yellow. No yellow. Everybody,
Oh,
stay in
man.
green. Everybody.
The good run that Gary had going. Oh, but the side-by-side battle continues for the lead.
Oh! 77 smacking the wall. Kyle Heath did steal a lap from the 77, so Mark is not going to lead all the laps. And a battle back behind him, too. Brydell, Zach Duchier, they're door to door. They're bumping, they're banging. Chris Paff
That's
right
gonna
behind him. Oh, he's going to split it.
Yeah.
Golly, what a move
Wow.
by Chris.
Yes, what a move by Chris Pratt in the 22 machine.
Oh!
Brad Delph looking back to the inside. Contact's going to be made. He's going to turn it.
Oh, no!
Oh, Jason Adams gets to get hit, and not sure if Jim got involved.
Oh,
man. So, another caution here.
Oh, man. We're going to go back and watch that, folks, because this was a battle back here. The 14 bumping and banging the 22. And, you know, people, I call it as I see it. Now, we had a battle there between the 22 and the 21 here as well. Now, they're just going for, they're going for the best finish that they can, but got bumping and banging there between the 14 and the 22, and the 14 right there is the hook. And, yep, it's going to involve the 24 and the 11 as well.
Oh, Jim did get a good piece of that for sure. So you asked earlier if we were going to see any 3 wide here this evening, so we did see it. And,
there is it. There.
Yep. Yes, indeed. So, wow, Kyle Heath was in the lead. Moment of caution.
Yep.
Kyle Heath is going to be the control car on this restart.
Yep. Now what?
Wow.
Now we're under 10 to go. If you're sitting in Kyle Heath's spot right now, I know we got a lot of chatter and chat right now about that caution.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna kind of let them have it. Robbie's out there, so if Robbie sees anything that needs to be done, Robbie can handle it. But
just some really tight, hard-nosed racing
I think
going
it's just
through.
really tight, hard racing, in my opinion. But there was definitely some contact there for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
Most
we've seen
definitely.
it all over the place. We even seen it up front with Kyle and Mark. Man, I almost forgot his name.
Mark Whitley.
Jeez. But yeah, man, oh man. Now Gary is sitting on pit road here. He's been on pit road quite a while. He's coming back out now. Looks like Chris is back out there, or is he's back out there. Let's see here. Who else maybe did come down pit road? 5 to go. I don't want to stay back here too long. Philip Bridgman and Jim Comensberger. It looks like they stayed out. So, man, golly. Now, what I was going to say is if you're in Kyle's position, we've seen several restarts here. What line would you choose on the restart? Would you want to go on the outside, or would you want to go on the inside line?
Well, for the most part, it seems that the leader, Mark Whitley, has been restarting on the inside lane when he was the leader all night. So Kyle Heath has had to restart on the outside here and there, but for the most part, it seems like the leader has advantage on iRacing on the inside lane here. In the real world for New Hampshire, most of the time the leader may pick the outside, but that's just because of wheel spin and just better traction sometimes for the most part on the outside. But inside lane seems to favor for the most part on iRacing. Zach Deutscher, got a note on Zach. He is in the third position, so we've seen earlier how restarts from the third position can really benefit and launch you into that second place, or have a good chance to fight for second place. So gonna have to see if Zach can get a good restart, maybe give a battle for Mark there.
Now we're going to watch it here as we are coming out of turn number 4 here. Pace car will dive off to the safety of pit row. Kyle Heath, Mark Whitley, Zach, Brad, Jason, Jim, Phillip, Keith, Chris, and Kevin. Top 10. Here we go. What kind of jump? Oh, Kyle did not get the jump he needed, but here we go. We're going to dive it down into turn number 1 with Mark Whitley. Oh, to his outside, and they're going to go door to door here. Oh, at the quarter panel. We're going door to door, even back here, side by side. Golly, it's getting insane here. Man.
Yeah, it just kind of seemed like Kyle just did not go on that restart. And
Kyle, almost. I think he did get into the 77, but 77 saved it. Here we go again, back here at a battle. 3 to go. Man, the 21 to the 13. Can they both save it? 13 up into the wall. He's going to get hit again and again. Oh, now we're going to have another yellow. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is not.
This will lead us into the first green light checkered attempt out the evening. Just really hard-nosed racing there between Zach Deutscher, Brad Delph, and Kyle Heath. Kyle Heath trying to keep them at bay after he lost the lead to Mark Whitley there on the restart. And just, I think Zach was trying to defend from Brad Delph perhaps, and trying to make a move, but just kind of, from the looks of things, could have overdrove turn 1 and right into the back of Kyle Heath.
Yeah, that could have been, I mean, there's a little gap there. Could have been some contact, could have been net code. I don't know. I really can't take a look at the close angle, but, you know, as you look at it here, it could have been either or. But, you know, you see kind of what happened. The 13 gets up into the wall, tries to save it, and then right there, the 19 of Keith Hurlbut, just nowhere to go right into the 13, and it was just kind of on from there. You know, everybody getting into one another, the 3 slamming the 12, and, you know, just, you know, really, really close, you know, action, and you have no reaction time. So,
exactly.
Man, oh man. All right. Well, I do gotta do some one-handed typing here real quick. So give me just a second, and I'll let Will here go ahead and kind of take over while I do this typing here real quick.
Yes, when the cars go into the safer barrier, we saw Kyle Heath just not able to keep it up on the track. Sometimes when the cars bounce out of the safer barrier, ricochet, kind of sponge, that safer barrier can almost act like a trampoline or a sponge, so to speak, and or like a kind of bouncing your finger off of a rubber band that's being suspended, so to speak. Just depending on how fast the car can enter into the safer barrier. Yeah, they are good to have at racetracks. I wholeheartedly agree. But just sometimes they can just not stay there as well. Even if you hit a concrete wall, you are still going to maybe bounce, or Armco barrier going to ricochet a little bit. But yeah, just unfortunate. Kyle Heath was having a real good night, top 3 night, pretty much all evening long. And late race restart, he restarted from the control car position, but just caught himself sleeping on his own restart gain, you would think, and Mark Whitley really matched him if that was the case on the restart. And once he lost the lead back to Mark, he just kind of playing defense mode for the most part, trying to keep that second place. And Brad Delph and Zach got to him, trying to put up a good fight, and just really hard racing here in the closing laps. Restarts, just cautions breed cautions at times, Joshua. So
unfortunately, they do. You are correct on that, you know. And looking at it right now, we got, you know, Mark Whitley. He's up at the top. We do have Brad Delph now P2. Jason Adams P3. Jim Comensberger in 4th. Philip Bridgman right there in 5th, 4th. They're getting lined up here, so things starting to change a little bit. Gary 6th. Zach 7th. Keith 8th, 9th. Chris Paff 9th, 10th. Christopher Campbell 10th, 11th. So, you know, as they're side by side, it's a little difficult to figure out who's where.
Jason Adams now, he was a lap down at one point. He's now sitting in 3rd position. Jim Comensberger started this race, did not qualify. He started outside the top 10, I want to say in 12th or 13th position, has now worked his way all the way up to 4th here in the closing stages. Get to this restart here. Pace cars off. Here they come. Green flag back out in the air, Joshua.
Yes, they are, and Jim actually started 14th. So I mean, but nevertheless, he was back there. Man, we're gonna have some action here. We got 2 to go. We gotta get to the white flag, and we're not gonna get it. Oh man, yellow is out again, and we are gonna get on. What happened here? Oh no, it was Jim, I believe.
Jason had a moment coming out of turn 2 and across the nose, I think, of Jimmy Kane, or maybe...
Yeah, right there.
Maybe they just had a coming together, perhaps. Maybe Jim could... Oh, maybe... Not too sure what happened. Philip Bridgman was awful close to Jim's left corner. So don't know if there could have been some net code, or maybe just Jim getting loose out of 2 and Jason as well coming, you know, get... A lot of could have happened right there that we just, that's a tough one to call.
Yep.
And, man.
All right. Well, GWC attempt number 2 coming up here. Man, oh man. Well, they only do 3 GWC attempts, and looks like Robbie's still about 30 minutes away. Hopefully everything's going all right, Robbie. Out there. Now I do see we got 20 likes out here tonight. Thank you everybody for those 20 likes. Do appreciate it, and I'm sure these guys do too. Now we got a lot of action out here on the track here tonight. Man, it's coming down to the wire, and you know, it's a little rough out here coming down to the end of the race, but we're not done. We still got you know, some racing to go. We're on our 2nd GWC attempt. They only do 3 attempts. So, yeah, Brantley, cautions. Yeah, unfortunately, that is the case. They do cautions, can breed cautions, and unfortunately, we're seeing that here toward the end. Looking at it now minus the stage caution, so we cannot really count that. A total of 7, and then we've got 6 regulars, so a total of 26 laps. Of course, GWC attempt, 3 to go, 4 lead changes here tonight, but we're not done. We gotta get through this second one.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of counting comp or stage cautions either in the caution counter list. I agree with you there.
Yeah,
That's normally
that's
even
ATVO.
while watching it in the real world.
Yeah, that's a TVO thing. I don't think you can unprogram that. You know, when you put it in there as a program for cautions, it's going to bring up all yellows. So, you know, just kind of something that I got to remember is, all right, well, one of the cautions was the stage, so you have to dismiss it. It's still technically a caution, but it's a stage or comp caution. It doesn't technically count, but in total, it does count.
Yeah, even in the real world, when they started doing those things, I wasn't a big fan of it. IMSA, if you follow the IMSA sports car competition, they and their long and distance endurance races that they do throughout the season, they do pay out points in those endurance races. They have an endurance championship, and they don't, unless there is a caution during the race, during those points that they do pay out during those points of the race. But normally it's all green flag and live.
wow.
And yeah, I kind of wish that's kind of how NASCAR would incorporate their type of stage points and everything. But maybe that's something that they could look at. But we're getting back going green here again.
The pace car will dive off again to the safety of pit road. Mark Whitley, Brad Delp, Jason Adams, Jim Comensberger, Phillip Bridgman. That is our top 5. Entering the Geico restart start zone here. Here we go. Green is out. Now the 14 got a good start there with the 77. Looks like the 24 got a good start there over the 11. And man, that 24 dove it down there. Are we going to go 3 wide back here? Are we going to have another spin? The 21 goes around 24. 11 down into the 22. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know
what
where
a
to...
good run going for Jim, and it all fell to pieces, as Patty Klein would say.
I don't know where to start here. I guess we could go back to the 21. We could go back to the... Yeah, I need to start back here with the 21 here of Zach, because I believe we seen this happen. That was a 78 of Gary Slapinski there. Well, right here, we're going to see some action. We're going to see a spin. So there is the 21. And then right up ahead here, I'm going to try to get on it. There's Brad. There's Jason. Then we have more action going on up here. And, you know, it was just Calamity Jane out here on the track as the 11 hits the one that comes down into the 22. Golly. Oh, then the 12, the 11.
Oh, Kevin Roy, the Jim Comensberger going, having a 360 just the tail end makes contact with Kevin. Kevin was trying to Baja by that whole incident. Basically what happened with Jason, almost an identical incident that happened the caution before coming through turn 2, but like we said, 2 different things happened simultaneously.
All right, well, we have entered the GWC final attempt here tonight. So if we get a yellow before the white flag comes out, whoever is in the lead, that will be our winner. The next flag will determine the race. Now, of course, I know the admins are going to, you know, they always do. They always go back, look at the race and everything. So I do believe the results after the race here tonight probably going to be unofficial until, of course, everything, you know, stage points and all that's updated and everything. So I know Robbie's out there. You know, he's kind of busy right now, so I don't think he'll be able to get to the points here tonight, but we understand that, and that's fine. That's fine. We can wait until next week to, you know, go through the points and everything. But, oh, Zach took his car behind the wall. Oh, man.
Yeah, you would think a couple of drivers just really worse for wear at that point of the race, just completely, you know, kind of taken out from that last incident that they were caught up in. Some just not able to get through that carnage, more so, or more or less there, that we had turn 2, and was very treacherous this evening.
Oh, and we should get the 1 to go here, I'm thinking. Let's see here. Yep, 1 to go. So here we go. It'll be the final attempt here. And, you know, I will let, I will let you get us going here, bud. We're on the back stretch here, so get us going for the final attempt here tonight.
Yes, final attempt, green, white, checkered, attempt number 3. So pace car lights are out, so that means they will bring that Ford Fusion Focus iRacing safety car in to pit lane this lap. Race control car on the restart, Mark Whitley. Brad Delft to the outside. Philip Bridgman, 3rd place. Gary Slapnitsky in 4th. The restart is in the air, green flag. Back going, diving in to turn 1. Brad Delft kind of pinching Mark down there just a little bit, ever so slightly. Oh, we got to come around.
There it is, folks. Oh, there is the yellow, and Mark Whitley will be bringing it home. Looks like into, or are we going to go again? It looks like 2 to go. They haven't crossed the stripe yet, so this should be the final time. We're going to take a look here at what happened. I didn't get a chance to see it, so give me just a... Oh, right here it looks like. Oh, no, it was the 22-13. It looks like Kevin Roy there as well got involved. We're going to get back here to Chris Paff. Was there contact, or did he just lose it here? Oh, 3 wide back here as well. Golly. And it looks like...
Yeah, Chris went all the way
down. Oh, he sure
flat
did.
And...
Oh, right up into the 13, and then there is where the 12 got involved. Oh, man. All right, well, Mark Whitley bringing it home into victory lane here tonight. It looks like Philip Bridgman in 2nd. Keith Hurlbutt in that 3rd spot. That is our podium finishers here tonight. Christopher Campbell 4th, and Jason Adams is going to round out the top 5. But let's go ahead and get our top 3 up here for the MaxspeedTV post-race show. Hang tight, folks. We'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, we are back. I've caught up with the top 3 here tonight. We're going to start with our winner, the 77 Harpoon Design Racing Team, Mark Whitley. Man, it was a fight there at the end. You know, you dominated most of the race out here tonight, but, man, you had to fight to, you know, really stay up front, man. Talk about it. Man, New Hampshire. I mean, we just got to hear from you, buddy.
Yeah, it was a pretty good night over all in all. I know I made one mistake toward the end of the race on a restart, and Kyle was able to get back by me. But on the following restart, I was able to kind of get it back. Thankfully, I got a good jump on the restart, and I just sent it into turn one, probably deep as I've ever driven it, at least throughout the whole race. And thankfully, he got a little loose on the bottom. I got the position. They wrecked after that. I don't know if he wrecked it. I think he gave me a nice little shot going into 3, but held on to it, and I think he got involved in the wreck after that. And then after that, it was just kind of like, cautions breed cautions.
Yep.
Kind of short style track. Not really a short track, but not really an intermediate either. So everybody was just trying to get everything they could get, and then I just was trying to focus on the restart to make sure I get through 1 and 2. And that last one, Brad gave me a little bit of a run for money there, but thankfully we were able to hold it off, and the caution came out, and we just kind of came around, make sure to finish across the checkered flag. I noticed a couple people pulled a Mark Martin and pitted on the last lap, so I'm not sure how they're going to get scored. But all in all, great race. Love this track, and glad we got a win.
Oh yeah, another win. That's back-to-back wins for you. Of course, we got plenty of season left to go. Well, not plenty of season. We're coming down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races left. Next week we got a Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. Bud, how do you feel about Pocono?
Yeah, Pocono is another one. I really like how it drives. It's pretty unique. Hopefully we can continue the momentum and roll in there and maybe get another W. Just kind of riding the momentum right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're just trying to keep it going. Well, awesome win out here tonight, man. You're one of the guys that I know everybody is definitely trying to beat. So awesome job out here. Awesome win again this season, man. Any final thoughts, shout outs, thanks you want to get before you go celebrate, buddy?
Just big shout out to my teammates, Brantley, Harpoon Design. He does awesome work. He spots for me pretty much all my races. I appreciate what he does. Check out his awesome designs at harpoondesign.com if you want to get one made for yourself, or if you just want to check out some of his other work, go on to Trade and Paint, and he'll hook you up. He's got a bunch of them on there, too many to count, I think, at this point. So check him out. Teammate Gary, I think he got involved in a couple late race crashes. He was running up front most of the race, so great competitor. Kind of funny that he decided to pull a Mark Martin there and pitted a lap earlier. We're probably not gonna let him live that one down for a little while. So and then shout out to the league. I know that the end of the race wasn't so great, but the beginning first 50 laps we went green. And,
oh yeah,
hell of a race. So shout out to everybody in the league and for you putting on this broadcast.
All right, we'll do appreciate it, Mark. We'll go celebrate your victory here tonight. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, that is going to bring us up here to our P2 finisher here tonight, Philip Bridgman, man. Aerokinetics number 5, bud. Awesome job, P2 finish. Definitely wasn't without a fight here tonight, buddy, but you managed to get it up there, and caution there, man, allowed you to get, P2 here. But, man, talk about the overall racing. Great points night for you here, bud. So, man, we got to hear from you. How'd your night go for you?
It was absolutely amazing just to be able to manage to come up here in second. Like I was all the way back there a couple times. I went a lap down a couple times, just trying to make those calls on not to pit when everyone else is pitting, just to be able to get that wave around, just to be able to stay on the lead lap the whole time was the main struggle of the night, anyways, for me.
Well, you managed to get, back on the lead lap several times, so that worked out for you. And then, this P2 finish, man, coming in 2 tonight back there in, I've got the points here. 6th. Yeah, 6th in the points, so this is going to be a good points night for you. 25 back behind Brandon Sheets, who is not here, so I don't know exactly how it's going to line up going into next week. We'll, find out throughout the week on where you line up going into Pocono. But, Pocono totally different from New Hampshire. What was your biggest issue out here tonight, other than being a lap down? What did you have problems with the most?
I almost want to say it would be it being tight, right entering the corner almost, and not knowing whether to be in 4th or to bring it down into 3rd, just to get that extra turn, I guess, throughout the corner. But I was trying to just stick with fourth because that I feel like what everyone else was doing anyways. It was kind of tough to call on what to do there, but it was a great outcome.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we'll Pocono next week, buddy. The Tricky Triangle. How do you feel about Pocono, man?
Pocono's another tough track, but it's outstanding racing throughout the most part. Anyways, I feel it's a great track.
All right. Well, round number 16 round number 17, excuse me, next week of Pocono, buddy, man. Any final thoughts, shout outs, thanks you want to give before you go celebrate your P2 here tonight? And of course, get ready for Pocono, man. Mike's yours.
Yeah, definitely appreciate Aerokinetics still having me and having Quick Dry on the car. Always great having them. Zach Deutscher, great teammate to have also, and appreciate you guys putting it on. Everyone at SRU who's put it on, and it's outstanding just to be a part of it.
All righty, Philip. Well, awesome P2 here tonight, buddy. We'll see you next week at Pocono.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you, man. All right, well, that is going to bring us. He is in chat, actually, here tonight at the end of the race. Keith Hurlbutt. Keith, man, awesome job, P3. Wasn't without a flight fight. Kind of stole the flight there at the on your back end of your car. Man, it came down to the wire, and I do see you got Harpoon design there also on your vehicle, so... but man, talk about the race, the struggles you had as a driver out here, the battles, here at the end, man, it was all over the place, buddy. Talk about it. How did the 19 go?
The first, 50 laps going into the stage were good. The car felt great. I didn't have any issues, and thought I was doing well. And then after the stage, teammate and I kind of got into each other a little bit, and I had some wheel damage, and I raced the rest of the race with wheel damage, fighting the wheel the whole time.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it ended up helping me in the long runs. When everybody else was slowing down, the damage was actually helping me turn a little better. But I went a lap down, there for a minute, and I made a boneheaded mistake going into the pits. Put me at the end of the field, and somehow I just battled as much as I could to get back into P3 and a little bit of luck.
Yeah, I mean, this was, awesome racing there at the beginning. 50 laps, green flag, everybody kind of spread out. Now, everybody knew kind of, I think, at the beginning it was going to be, the first couple of laps on tires was going to be rough. So you got to get some warmth in there and get them things heated up before you hammer down. But y'all really couldn't hammer down much. We haven't talked about the passing really any. Looked like it was pretty difficult to pass out there.
Yeah, it was very difficult. I was there for a while. I was behind the 11, and even though I felt like I was faster, it was just, he was doing a good job staying in front of me, and it was hard to pass. And you had to baby that throttle coming out of the turns, or it would just snap around on you. So passing here is very, very tough.
Well, it looks like we're going to have another track next week. Going to be a little difficult as well. The Tricky Triangle of Pocono, 70 laps. How do you feel about Pocono going into, after the finish you had here tonight, P3? You think you can keep that momentum going into Pocono?
I hope I can. Like I mentioned in chat, that's 3 top 10s in a row.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a little more consistent, doing a little better. Tonight, I contribute a lot of it to luck. Just I was involved in a lot of incidents, but ended up not taking a whole lot of damage. And next week, I love Pocono, so we'll see how it goes. It's one of my favorite tracks, so I'm hoping for another top 10. Let's get 4 in a row.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm seeing it right here. Looks like second, third place in 3 races, 3 top 10s in a row. So. Yeah, I mean, great job there, Keith. You're actually the one that posted that. So. Yeah, an amazing job out here, buddy. Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, man. It's gonna be tricky. That's why they call it the Tricky Triangle. So, Keith, awesome job, man. P3, final thought, shout-outs, thanks you want to give before you go celebrate, buddy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I want to thank, first my teammates, of course. Chris, Path, had kind of rough night tonight, but appreciate him and Robbie. We missed you out here tonight, Brandon. I want to thank SRU for putting on the league race. Appreciate you, Josh, for the broadcast, of course. And I'm not ever going to get interviewed without mentioning Dave Bush. Miss that guy like crazy.
Oh man, I think we
Hope
all
he's
do,
doing well.
Keith. Yeah, we all miss Dave. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
so yeah, I mean, we could talk about Dave all night.
Definitely.
Yeah, we miss Dave Bush. So Dave, if you're listening out there, buddy, we miss you. Hopefully you're doing well. Come and chat every once in a while if you can. Just say hi. You don't have to talk. But we'd love to hear from you, buddy. So. Yeah, got it. We could talk about Dave all night. If I keep talking about him, I'm gonna start crying because we all miss him. Dave is
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. So Keith, awesome job out here tonight again, buddy. P3 finish. We will see you next week, and man, awesome job again.
I appreciate you guys.
Yep, thank you. All right, well, that was Keith. Of course, Robbie Darnell out in chat, Chris as well. Will, man. An amazing race out here tonight, buddy. I mean, I don't know. It got rough there at the end, of course, but it was still an amazing race overall.
Yes, I'd have to agree with you. It was a pretty awesome race to sit here and spectate as well as call. Thank you for having me, Joshua. I appreciate you letting me come and call these races with you. These SRU guys, doesn't matter if it's trucks, Gen 4's cars, whatever they compete in, they always put on one heck of a show. And like you said, it did get a bit nasty towards the end, but sometimes that just happens in motorsport. You will see some wrecks and cautions will happen, spins, just sometimes it turns into like a junkyard parking lot type of deal, but that's racing sometimes.
Yep.
But like you said, great race, awesome overall. Congratulations to the podium finishers, Mark Whitley, on this performance he had. He had to put up a fight there towards the end, but he walked away with the win for sure.
Yep. Mark Whitley coming away with the win here tonight. The unofficial result, pending any admin stuff that they have to do here tonight. But like we said, Mark Whitley grabbed the win. Philip Bridgman there in that P2 spot. Keith Hurlbutt, P3, who we just talked to just a second ago. Christopher Campbell in 4th. Awesome finish by Christopher. Jason Adams coming back, grabbing a top 5 in 5th. Robbie Stewart 6th. Jim in 7th. Kyle Heath 8th. Gary Slapinski 9th. And Kevin Roy 10th. Brad Delph in 11th. Chris Paff in 12th. Larry Blair 13th. Zach Duchier 14th. Brandon Hartwell 15th. Robbie Darnell 16th. I had to leave early in the race, family thing. Buzz, Paul Buzz Cohen, Clifton Ashley did not start here tonight. But again, our winner, Mark Whitley, grabbing the win. Want to give a big shout out to, of course, Will Roberts joining me up here in the booth. Again, thank you, Will, for helping me call the race here tonight. Robbie Darnell. And everybody over here at SRU, great league. If anybody out there is interested in joining their Sunday nights, please hit up Robbie Darnell, hit up SRU on Facebook, send them a message on iRacing. Robbie and then the admins will, of course, look at everything, make sure everything is in order for to join the Cup Series. Of course, they do have the trucks, I believe, as well. They got several things going on over here. So big shout out to Robbie and the admin teams over here. Big shout out to all the fans out there, all of our moderators. Man, 23 likes out here tonight. It keeps on going up every single week. Without you guys, without everybody sharing the stream and getting it out there, this would not be possible. Wednesdays and Friday nights, so it looks like, they have several things going on. So thank you for that, Robbie. But that is going to do it for myself, MaxspeedTV. Harpoon Design, a big shout out to you as well, Brantley. Of course, without Brantley, this would not be possible either. So Brantley, big shout out to you as well, buddy, for, again, coming on board, sponsoring the series. But like I said, folks, that's going to do it for MaxspeedTV and SRU. Until next week at Pocono, folks, stay safe. Thank you all, and have a good night.